Part 30. Doomsday Special Forces. Author, Huanjing Chengzhu. Chapter 291. An hour later, Wang Feng let go of Lu Wanting with satisfaction and helped her tidy up her clothes. Lu Wanting blushed and kissed Wang Feng, and whispered, "I will go back to the headquarters tonight and wait for me in your room, leave this behind." After saying this, he ran out with a shy look on his face. Wang Feng looked at Lu Wanting's back with some surprise on his face, and murmured, "Damn. You're not full." Zhang Xiu looked at the blushing Lu Wanting with a smile, and asked mysteriously, "How do you feel?" "Damn girl. How do you feel?" "We are, chatting," Lu Wanting said without confidence. "Tch. Chatting," Zhang Xiu curled her lips disdainfully and said, "Why are you two chatting inside? Why does the car keep swaying?" "Ah. Are we making such a big move?" Lu Wanting covered her mouth and subconsciously looked at the hurricane, and then she immediately realized that she had been fooled. No matter how hard she tried, she wouldn't be able to shake this huge monster around. Looking back, looking at Zhang Xiu who was smiling like a little fox who had stolen a chicken, Lu Wanting became angry and bared her teeth and claws at Lu Wanting. "Damn girl. I'll let you wander. It's not unusual for you to let me hang around. Let your lover hang around me." Zhang Xiu made a face, turned around and ran away. "I'll go." How dare this girl say anything? Wang Feng looked at the two chasing girls on the screen with a dark look on his face, and said depressedly, "No. You have to find someone quickly to take this witch away. Who the hell can stand this?" After saying that, Wang Feng hurriedly sat back and fled in embarrassment in the hurricane, speeding all the way towards the Blue Water Garden. Originally, he wanted to go and see the Gai Taizu nearby, but he couldn't care less about it now and would talk about it when he got back. Returning to the headquarters, which is the clubhouse of Bishui Garden, Wang Feng found Duan Lei. Duan Lei was also surprised that Wang Feng came back so soon. However, Wang Feng looked around without saying anything, and motioned Duan Lei to follow him. Lei was a little confused, but he still followed Wang Feng upstairs to the room that originally belonged to the two of them, but now Wang Feng lives alone. Wang Feng did this because what he was going to say later would affect the third child. Wang Feng didn't even know how the third child followed him, so he thought it was better to come to his room to be more sure. How to say it, it was closed. There's no way the three of them could sneak into the room, right? After closing the door, Wang Feng carefully searched the room under Duan Lei's incomprehensible gaze. Then he sat down in front of Duan Lei and told Duan Lei about today's experience. Duan Lei, after listening, he couldn't help but frown and started thinking. It seems that after living with Shen Yishan, the expression on Duan Lei's face gradually became richer, and he seemed to be smiling more. Even the scar on his face made him look very excited every day. Wang Feng had to secretly think about it in his heart. Sigh, women are so charming. "Have you decided to go?" Duan Lei thought for a while and looked at Wang Feng and asked. Although Wang Feng did not tell Duan Lei his decision, Duan Lei still decided to go because of his understanding of Wang Feng. Guessed what he was thinking? "Well, I plan to clear out all the zombies in Juking City first and get out the remaining evolution potions of the Guardian Warriors. Then, I will go to the passage to check it out myself. I think since the Apostle Peter is the instructor, those people will definitely not harm me. Since they let me go, it means that I should have the strength to get such things." Wang Feng nodded and said, "Besides, he also said that after I get that thing, I should not move forward." Maybe moving forward would be the most dangerous thing, the old man said. "Let me reach the level of a 5th level creature before moving forward. If I don't go deep into the place I'm going to, there shouldn't be any problem. Besides, I have to do this matter according to the words of the Apostle Peter, which is to hide it from the three little guys. Now that these three little guys have learned the hidden powers, they have become so sneaky that even I don't know about them. I have been hiding all day, but I know they are around me, and today the Apostle Paul felt them. When the time comes, you have to find a way to hold the three of them back, and you have to hold them back until I come back, because there is a little guy among them who will follow you. If you let them leave your side, they will still follow you. I can't even hide from those who are coming up. Wang Feng looked at Duan Lei and said. This is easy to handle. It's very simple. Let's discuss how we will clean up Juking City tomorrow, right? Duan Lei smiled slightly and said confidently. What? It's very simple. Wang Feng's eyes widened. On the way back, ever since he made up his mind to go to that passage, he has been thinking about how to get rid of the three little guys. Since he escaped from death that time, after that, he seemed to feel that the three of them had neglected their duties before. In short, now Wang Feng was sure that the third child was outside now. As long as he went out, they would definitely follow him and he could not get rid of him even while driving. Wang Feng now regrets that he listened to the instructor and trained their strength and endurance. Now he can't leave them quietly for a while. Fortunately, when he was with Lu Wanting, these three little guys were it shouldn't be so tight. Etc. Lu Wanting. Black Dragon Bridge. I'll go. Wang Feng suddenly looked at Duan Lei with wide eyes. Speaking of lazy eye, could Ting Ting be involved in the method you mentioned? Huh, Duan Lei looked at Wang Feng in surprise. Who the hell are you pretending to be, a lunatic? He shouldn't be able to think of such a thing with his brain. It seems that Duan Lei's mood recently is indeed. That's right, I'm in the mood for a joke. Get out, Wang Feng said angrily. Can't you be smart if you cooperate with me? Hurry up and be specific. Duan Lei stopped joking and began to tell his plan. It's very simple. Let's go to Juking City first and clean up the zombies there. Basically, I don't think there is any danger in this work, and we also try not to use heat weapons. I have commanded Lao Lu and others to fight among the corpses in Haki City before, and the effect was good. So, in the past few days, I have drawn out 300 of those guardian warriors, organized them into a team of 10, and given them numbers, and then I will direct them, and they will cooperate. I tried a few times, it seemed to work well, and I could command these 300 people at the same time, but not more. Having said this, Duan Lei pointed to his brain, indicating that his mental strength could not bear any more people. Now Duan Lei has restored the strength of an evolver, and has also become a third-order evolver. His strength has increased. His speed is no less than that of Wang Feng, and his spiritual energy is now more powerful, so he can control 300 people to attack at the same time. Of course, if all 300 people were dispersed and he was asked to command them in units of people, Duan Lei still couldn't bear it. He could only divide the 300 people into 30 units in units of 10 people, so that he could command them. But after adding Duan Lei, in a pure close combat, it is estimated that these 300 guardian warriors can equal or even defeat 1,000 guardian warriors who are also evolutionaries. Yeah. That's okay, Wang Feng nodded. He had heard from Lu Feng and others that Duan Lei's performance was amazing before, but after all, he didn't see it with his own eyes, and he still felt a little regretful. This time he was able to see it with his own eyes. Wang Feng was still looking forward to it. Huh? What I asked was how to keep those three little guys in the base. I didn't ask how you killed the zombies. Wang Feng suddenly felt something was wrong and quickly brought the topic back. Why are you in a hurry? After clearing away the zombies there and making sure there is no danger, I will pretend to be exhausted, and then you will let the three little guys protect me and come back, and tell them not to leave my side, and then you will come back with us. When you pass by the Black Dragon Bridge, you pull Ting Ting and tell her to check the defense of the bridge over there. Pretend to be more impatient, so that the three little guys won't doubt you, and they probably won't either. I'm sorry to follow you anymore. Duan Lei shook his head, and then told his plan. Especially. The place you want to go to is under the Black Dragon Bridge. According to you, the passage is sloping down, so they probably won't be able to sense you leaving the Black Dragon Bridge. And since you are in the water, their senses must not be able to sense you. Will it be much weaker? Damn it! You're still too impatient. You're already exhausted. I'm still so impatient. Am I a little ungrateful? Wang Feng was a little depressed, but I have to say that Duan Lei's method is really feasible. Except that it will damage some of your own image, everything else is fine. It's okay. Anyway, if you do this, they won't be surprised, man. It's normal. Besides, I won't behave too seriously. It's just like after launching a thunderstorm, I will lose the strength of the evolver. Duan Lei. He curled his lips and said, I'll go. This is who I am in your eyes. Wang Feng scratched his hair and said bitterly. It's not you. Men are like this. Duan Lei suddenly told the truth. I'll go. Fortunately, it's just the two of us here, otherwise the hatred you're saying will definitely arouse. Wang Feng looked shocked. Okay. It's settled. Remember to say hello to Ting Ting tonight, Duan Lei said. Okay. I understand, Wang Feng replied casually, and then suddenly asked strangely, how did you know that Ting Ting would be back tonight? Duan Lei did not answer, but looked at Wang Feng with contempt, as if I just said something. Damn it, Wang Feng was embarrassed and quickly changed the subject. Okay. Let's first discuss the people who will stay behind and the people who are going to Juking City, and decide who they will be. Doomsday Special Forces. Author, Huanjing Chengzhu. Chapter 292. After hearing Wang Feng's words, Duan Lei couldn't help but curled his lips. What's the point? The whole War Department will go out to fight, except for the guardian soldiers of the Enhancers. When you leave tomorrow, I will give you their blood samples and clean them up. After finishing the zombies in Juking City, you can take out the evolution potion and I will bring it back to them to use to help them complete their evolution as soon as possible. Everyone from the Life Department is left to guard the base. With instructors on duty, plus the big man and Shan Shan, there will definitely be no problems with the base. Besides, the Heilong Bridge side is basically completed. As long as there are no problems in Jianguan Town, our base can be said to be very safe. I have Hu Yahuan guard the farm nearest to Jianguan Town. Unless there is an accident, he can hold on. Hearing Duan Lei talk about Hu Yahuan, Wang Feng frowned. What does that Hu Yahuan think? We don't need to worry about him. I talked to him specifically. He is a person similar to the previous Lao Lu. He just wants to live well. He has no ambitions and does not want to owe favors. Therefore, he does not want to enter our family. The inner circle does not want to accept our potions. He said that if he wants potions, he will use points to exchange for them and try not to owe us anything. If the base is attacked by an irresistible attack, he will have limited resources to protect it. Your own life is your priority and you won't defend the base for us. Duan Lei said calmly, so this person is fine and can be used. At least, he is fine for looking at a farm. Moreover, he will not take the initiative to betray us or do any small tricks secretly. To be honest, I don't like this kind of person. I really want more. Okay. Then you can take care of it. After hearing Duan Lei's explanation, Wang Feng stopped caring about Hu Yahuan. After calculating the number of people setting off tomorrow, Wang Feng said again, that's it. Tomorrow, we will drive all the hurricanes, and then everyone else will walk. There are a lot of vehicles in Juking City anyway, so we will get there when we get there. 7 Hurricane Type 2s will be enough. The Type 1 can be left in front of the club. As for the other cars, well, it's true that they are not needed, so it's settled. Let's set off tomorrow, early in the morning. Duan Lei thought for a moment and agreed, but he did ask Wang Feng the last sentence with a smirk on his face. Damn. Of course it's early in the morning, isn't it like this every time? Wang Feng was a little angry. I was afraid that someone would be late and have weak legs. When we arrive in Juking City, Duan Lei said slowly, but before he could finish his words, Wang Feng picked up his collar and threw him out of the room. Get out of here. I'll leave the rest to you. I'm almost exhausted from running back and forth these days. Let's rest first. Wang Feng's roar came from the room, followed by a loud slamming of the door. TCH. Take a rest. Recharge your batteries, right? Duan Lei rolled his eyes at the closed door, then staggered downstairs. After sending Duan Lei away, Wang Feng quickly got into the bathroom, washed himself from top to bottom, then put on a bathrobe directly, lay down on the bed and started to sleep. He really needed to take a good rest. Although he is a third-level evolver, he has been running back and forth for the past few days and has basically not slept much. In addition, when he came back just now, he chatted for a while with Lu Wanting at the Black Dragon Bridge, which consumed a lot of energy. I will have to work overtime in the evening, so I should take a break first while there are still a few hours before dark. As for Duan Lei, his fate is definitely not that good. At least, he has to arrange the personnel who will leave for Juking City tomorrow, and then he will also have to arrange things in the base in the past few days after he leaves, and the most important thing is, he will also leave for Juking City tomorrow, and it will take at least 2 or 3 days to come back. Therefore, like Wang Feng, he will definitely have to work overtime tonight. Oh. Life is miserable. Duan Lei returned to the club, thinking about a lot of things he had to do, and couldn't help but sigh in his heart. Why do smart people have to be busy, while fools can just go to bed? If I had known earlier, I should have chosen the direction of agility or strength to evolve. Early the next morning, what Duan Lei expected did not happen. The people who were scheduled to leave for Juking City all gathered at the club according to the prescribed time, including Wang Feng and Lu Wanting, but they seemed a bit dark. There were circles under his eyes, and Wang Feng was sitting directly on the roof of the hurricane car outside, refusing to get down. Duan Lei was very suspicious that these two people had not slept at all. Duan Lei's guess was wrong. Although Wang Feng and Lu Wanting still had a fierce hand-to-hand fight last night, they still slept for more than an hour because they were leaving for Juking City today. Su Mo and Lu Wu were also among the crowd at this time. They had joined the Hope base, and based on what Su Mo and Lu Wu had done before, it was enough for Wang Feng and Duan Lei to treat them as core figures. At least, they still have humanity in their hearts, they have not been contaminated by this dark apocalypse, and they have not given up their pride in humanity. Huang Hua was among them, including the second army soldiers he brought. Huang Hua took the initiative to fight. Duan Lei originally arranged for Huang Hua to stay and guard the base. Duan Lei still believed in these soldiers. Besides, Duan Lei had arranged for Huang Hua to stay and guard the base. Even if they have any ideas, the remaining Lu Qiang and Shen Yishan are both second-level enhancers, plus the 1,000 guardian warriors who are still enhancers, it is enough to deal with them. However, Huang Hua heard that Duan Lei and the others were going to clean up the zombies, and they were from Juking City, so he immediately asked to go out to fight. He wanted to see with his own eyes the power of the Guardian Legion. On the way back, Dai Guo told him a lot about the Guardian Legion. It was so powerful that his ears were about to get calloused. He was very interested in this legion that could be fully praised by Dai Guo. Therefore, when he heard that the Guardian Legion was also involved this time, he strongly requested to lead the team to participate in the war. Duan Lei couldn't refuse directly because Huang Hua was new, so he agreed with Huang Hua that when he got there, he must obey the command completely, and those soldiers were not allowed to participate in the battle. They could only help clean up the battlefield at the end. If Huang Hua doesn't agree, then don't go. Huang Hua originally wanted to see the fighting power of the Guardian Legion. He hesitated and agreed to Duan Lei's request. He just said that if the Guardian Legion could withstand the zombies, they would not join the war. If the zombies, if they come over, they won't just stand there stupidly, they will definitely fight back. Duan Lei naturally agreed to Huang Hua's request, so Huang Hua and the nearly 5,000 people from his second army also joined the expedition. However, those soldiers did not know yet that they were in the past. I was a spectator and porter, so basically nothing happened to them during the battle. When Wang Feng saw Lu Wu, he remembered something. When Su Mo and Lu Wu first came back, they went to command the personnel as soon as they arrived at Bishui community to clean the residential building that Wang Feng assigned to them. The edge of the window was LED, and then the ceiling system brought over was installed. After debugging, the old people were placed in the building. Now that the old people were awake and seeing people coming and going outside normally, they decided that the original nursing home that Su Mo had compiled had a gas leakage accident and knocked them unconscious, so they moved here. The whole story about them being weak now and not being able to go out yet, and it would be a while before they could hang out outside, was taken as fact. In the past few days, these old people have been drinking mutant beast broth, eating mutant beast meat, and having a supply of vegetables. Life is much better than the life in the sanatorium over there, and after coming here, Su Mo and the others, this is the first time that they can actually tell the date when they can go for a walk outside, which is a month at most. Su Mo never dared to say the specific date before, and always used vague words such as, "It's almost time, wait a little longer, it'll be fine after a while," etc. In fact, these old people have been holding it in the house for nearly a year. There were also some doubts, but seeing that Su Mo and the others had always been very kind to people like me, and came to chat with them every day, and that their relatives also came to visit from time to time, they didn't think too much. Now Su Mo said for the first time that in 1 month, they can move freely in this community. Of course, these old men and women who have been suppressed for a long time are very happy. If you want to say that this square dance cannot be danced indoors, it cannot be danced indoors at all. There is no such feeling. Now, in another month they can go out to dance in the square. They were really happy just thinking about it. They even chose the location. Look at the fountain in the center of the square. There is also a big willow tree planted there. When the time comes, they can just dance there. This has been going on for nearly a year. I don't know if there are any new songs coming out. The old song Little Duck Pair seems quite monotonous. Because he was taking care of these old people, Lu Wu had been busy in that residential building. Wang Feng had a lot of things to do, so he went to Wang Tao's base and forgot about Lu Wu. Now he saw Lu Wu naturally, Wu couldn't delay any longer. After calling him to his side, he took the blood directly without any nonsense, and then asked Apocalypse to synthesize an evolution potion. Take this and follow that guy. Wang Feng threw the evolution potion to Lu Wu, pointed at Lu Qiang and said, and then called Lu Qiang, "Big man. Take him to the top floor, he is going to take drugs." Lu Qiang naturally knew what it meant, which was to find a safe place for this guy to sleep. He was about to evolve, so he waved to Lu Wu. "Aren't you going to Juking City?" Lu Wu took the medicine bottle and suddenly remembered that the ordinary soldiers under him turned into strengtheners in a few minutes, so he said tremblingly, "This is a third-level strengthening medicine." You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Doomsday Special Forces. Author, Huanjing Chengzhu. Chapter 293. Level 3 Enhancement Potion. Hearing Lu Wu's words, Wang Feng was stunned. Then, he nodded quickly, "Well. Take it quickly, go to the place arranged by the big guy for you and drink it, and quickly improve your strength." Lu Wu was overjoyed when he heard it, but he was unwilling to go up. He looked at Hurricane and said, "It's just a little while anyway, I can just lie down in the car for a while." Lu Wu didn't know that the evolution potion lasted for a long time, about 10 days, and thought that he would wake up in a while like those soldiers. Wang Feng didn't correct him, but said to him, Go up quickly, stop talking nonsense. We still need to prepare for a while, you still have time, the environment here is too chaotic, it is not suitable for you to use this level 3 enhancement potion, it's quiet upstairs, there will be no accidents. Lu Wu thought about it and felt that what Wang Feng said made sense, so he turned and ran towards Lu Qiang, and then followed Lu Qiang upstairs. Lu Qiang, the big guy, did not go to Juking City, but was left by Duan Lei to look after the house. One is that this guy originally had no desire to fight, and the other more important thing is that Lu Qiang can be said to be the person Duan Lei and Wang Feng trust the most, and their trust in him is comparable to that of Taizu. However, Taizu is not very smart, and giving him a farm to manage is already a great honor if he can do it without any mistakes. Lu Qiang is different. He has strong management ability and is kind and humble. He has a good character in the entire base and is called Uncle King Kong. This nickname was given to Lu Qiang by Zhang Xiu. When the bridge deck of the Black Dragon Bridge was being constructed, Lu Qiang also went to help. When moving a retractable bridge board, Lu Qiang directly activated his supernatural power and moved the huge bridge board by himself. Those engineers who had not seen Lu Qiang's transformation were shocked. Although Zhang Xiu had seen it before, it was all in the battle and there was no time to observe carefully. Now seeing Lu Qiang's giant figure of 3 meters, originally Lu Qiang was about 2.5 meters when he transformed, and now he has been promoted to a second-level evolver, reaching 3 meters after the transformation, his eyes are full of little stars. After Lu Qiang put the bridge board down, Zhang Xiu came to Lu Qiang, looked at him seriously and asked, "Uncle King Kong, when you transform, will all parts of your body grow?" While speaking, she glanced at Lu Qiang's waist. Lu Qiang was embarrassed for a moment, and did not answer at all. Instead, he turned around and walked away. Looking at Lu Qiang's fleeing back, Zhang Xiu laughed, "Ha ha ha. Such a cute Uncle King Kong, you are shy." The people around saw Lu Qiang running away directly because of Zhang Xiu's question, and they almost laughed so hard that they got hurt. Since then, Lu Qiang's title of Uncle King Kong has spread like wildfire. People in the entire base, regardless of gender, age, or young, call Lu Qiang Uncle King Kong when they see him. Even Duan Lei changed his words and stopped calling him big guy and called him Uncle King Kong. Wang Feng had been running around outside and had not heard of the story, so he was the only one who still called Lu Qiang big guy. Now Wang Feng saw that Lu Wu was tricked by him to go upstairs, and a sly smile appeared on his face. He really wanted to know what expression Lu Wu would have when he found out that after he woke up, the zombies in Juking City had been cleared out, and even the supplies had been moved away. Su Mo came to Wang Feng, looked at the direction where Lu Qiang and Lu Wu disappeared, and asked in confusion, "Where did this guy go? His strength is a bit low, I gave him an evolution potion and asked him to go up to evolve. When he comes down again, he will be an evolver," Wang Feng explained, and then took out another potion and handed it to Su Mo. "Here is this. This is a second-level evolution potion. After using it, you will be a second-level evolver, and the process will not last long, just 1 or 2 hours. You can use it in the hurricane now, and you can complete the evolution before reaching Juking City." "This is for me." Su Mo was surprised and hesitated to take the evolution potion. He knew that Wang Feng could configure potions. The ordinary soldiers on their side all became enhancers because they used the enhancement potion given by Wang Feng, and he knew that there was no failure, but he didn't expect that even evolvers could be improved in this way. Although he didn't know how this potion was made, Su Mo could imagine how precious it was. He now had some understanding of the Hope base, especially the points system. He thought that strengthening potions required a lot of points to exchange, and this kind of evolution potion that didn't appear in the exchange list would definitely require more points. He had just joined the Hope base, so it could be said that he had no points at all. He didn't want to receive rewards without merit, so Suemo didn't plan to accept this second-level evolution potion. Take it. This is what you deserve. Duin-Lei came over and patted Suemo on the shoulder. In fact, your contribution to the space is quite great, but you just didn't think about that aspect. These old people you brought are a huge and precious wealth. With them, human civilization can be fully inherited. Ah, Suemo was a little stunned. He rescued these old people at that time because he remembered his father in his heart and transferred what he should do to him to these old people. He never thought about what these old people would do. In his opinion, anyone might regard these old people as a burden. Because they seemed to be unable to do anything except consuming supplies, Suemo had never thought about what rewards he would get from what he did. He just followed his inner thoughts and found a reason to live in this dark end of the world. Now Duin-Lei actually said that these old people were a huge and precious wealth. Not only did Suemo not understand, but even Wang Fen did not fully understand. Although Wang Fen knew that these old people would bring some positive significance when joining the Hope Base, he felt that it was not as exaggerated as Duin-Lei said. Duin-Lei smiled gently, looked up at the apartment building where the old man lived, and chuckled. I remember when our generation was young, when people asked us about our ideals and what we wanted to do when we grew up, most of the answers we got were, PLA, police, scientists, or doctors. Before the end of the world, I saw a program that asked elementary school students what they wanted to do when they grew up, just like when we were young. As a result, the children's answers were varied, but there were no soldiers, police, and scientists. I want to be a star, I want to be an anchor, I want to act in a movie, I want to be a CEO. It's almost the same answer, because in our era, it's full of information about these industries, so their values have also deviated. The older generation, they care about the people who bring them safety, because they know how to be grateful. Therefore, they respect the soldiers who protect the country, the scientific researchers who are committed to the country's strength, and the migrant workers who work hard to build the city, because they know that these people are the cornerstones of the country. But our generation did not pay attention to them. Many people even regard a singer or movie star they admire as more important than their parents who gave birth to them. I still remember that sometime before the end of the world, one of our scientists won the Nobel Prize, but unfortunately, when she won the Nobel Prize, she happened to catch up with someone's wedding. So, the attention of the Chinese people was all focused on that grand wedding, and the scientist who should have shocked the country and even the world, did not pay any attention to it. No one cared about it, and it was drowned in the surging crowd. Not many people would care about how much our national defense has grown, and not many people would think about the silent soldiers standing in the ice and snow at the border of their own country all night, enduring the cold and fatigue, enduring loneliness and solitude, guarding the country's borders and protecting them. The values of our world have tilted. Those who are concerned are no longer those who make us safe, but those who make us enjoy. It's like a person who knows that 3 meals a day are the most important, but he cares about how to regulate his nails and hairstyle. As for where the food and vegetables come from, he is completely dismissive. Maybe God saw our current situation, so he sent down the apocalyptic sky fire. Let us wake up and know what is the most important thing. At least, I think everyone should understand now that watching movies or singing to zombies cannot prevent them from hurting themselves, and listening to music every day cannot keep them from being hungry. Speaking of this, Duin-Lei suddenly turned around and looked at Suemo and said, maybe you don't know the true value of these old people. They are not a burden. They have experienced much more than us. Do you really think they are completely kept in the dark? You are wrong. They may not know zombies, or skyfire, but they must know that this world is different from before. They don't say it, but they are just cooperating with you, because they can see that you are really good to them, so they will not expose your white lies, and they act as if nothing happened. In the future, they will become the wisest mentors of our base. The children in the base will be taught and guided by them. We not only have to continue human civilization, but also correct the wrong values of mankind. In this way, perhaps this end of the world is not completely a bad thing for mankind. Doomsday Special Forces. Author, Huanjing Chengzhu. Chapter 294. After listening to Duanlei's words, Su Mo looked at the residential building. He didn't know how he felt. Since the end of the world, these old people have been his goal in life. Not letting them know that the end of the world is coming is Su Mo's biggest problem. Since the end of the world, 3 old people have passed away due to age and illness, but Su Mo is not sad for them, but relieved. Because although they left peacefully, as if they were not aware of the drastic changes in the world. Now Su Mo finally understood that it was not only himself who was acting, but also these old people. Okay. Go to the car and drink the potion. Don't think so much. I promise that no one will have to act here in the future. They can still live an ordinary life before the end of the world. Wang Feng patted Su Mo said over his shoulder. Su Mo looked at Wang Feng, nodded, and got into the hurricane. Are you ready to go? Wang Feng looked at Duanlei and said. Okay, Duanlei nodded, then gave him a strange look. You should have given the order to set off, right? You are the chief of the combat department, shouldn't you even care about this? Wang Feng smiled awkwardly, then opened his mouth and shouted, everyone is here. Set off immediately. Target. Joking City. The evolvers who were still joking at first all found their positions. People stood on top of the 7 hurricanes. The Guardian warriors had already formed a queue and were ready to set off. As for Huang Hua has also assembled his second army. Dai Guo was just an ordinary commander because all his soldiers were dragged away by instructor Li Yingning. So he followed Wang Feng. Standing on the roof of the first hurricane. Set off. In response to Wang Feng's order, 7 hurricanes drove out of the Hope Base one after another, heading towards the Black Dragon Bridge. Behind the hurricanes were more than 2,000 Guardian warriors, and the 1,000 Guardian warriors who had not yet become evolutionaries, this time responsible for the defense of the base. Huang Hua led his second army and followed behind the guarding soldiers. When passing by the Black Dragon Bridge, Zhang Xiu saw that Lu Wanting was going this time, so she clamored to follow her. However, the problem was that the defense of the Black Dragon Bridge had not yet been completely completed, and the place could not be left without human protection, especially now that the 1,000 the Guardian warriors have withdrawn to the Blue Water Garden. So under Wang Feng's persuasion, Lu Wanting also stayed, and then she got rid of this crazy girl Zhang Xiu. But in fact, Wang Feng was quite grateful to Zhang Xiu for such a fuss, and he didn't want Lu Wanting to go to Joking City. Because he originally had no intention of treating Lu Wanting as a combatant, so he let Lu Wanting join the life department. The current result is just right, and it has not ruined Duanlei's plan. When he returned, he met Lu Wanting at Heilong Bridge and stayed. He must have been able to deceive the third child. Thinking of this, Wang Feng opened his eyes and looked around him. But there was no trace of the 3 little guys, and I don't know where these 3 little guys are hiding. It seems that their superpower is really effective. Because there were many people on foot this time, although they were all evolvers, even the soldiers of the second army led by Huang Hua were all enhancers. After all, their speed was still not as fast as the fully mechanized troops. Therefore, when they arrived at the giant when Qingxi arrived, the sky had completely darkened, so Wang Feng directed the hurricane to drive to the Biochemical Research Institute where they had discovered Gu Changsheng. After Gu Changsheng arrived at the Hope Base, Duanlei directly found a place for Gu Changsheng to use as a laboratory in the supermarket located in the Bishui Garden. Because it was a large area and Gu Changsheng's research required zombie corpses, so it was relatively quiet there. It was suitable, not only him, but also Nongming was arranged there. Nongming's research was all about plants, so the space needed was larger than Gu Changshen's, and zombie corpses would not look good in the community, so Duan Lei renovated the interior of this large warehouse supermarket. After a while, I prepared to use it as a residence for various scientific researchers studying zombies. The Biochemical Research Institute was originally cleaned up, but because Wang Feng and the others did not close the iron door when they left, new zombies poured in, but this time there were no mutant zombies, enhanced zombies. Ordinary zombies pose no threat to Wang Feng and his team at all. After entering the research institute, the Guardian warriors spread out and cleaned up all the zombies inside. After Wang Feng absorbed the life energy from the zombies, he threw all the corpses out. Soon the entire Biochemical Research Institute was clean again. Got up. After making some casual arrangements, everyone took out the barbecued meat and ate some casually, then they all took a rest. Wang Feng looked at Chuking City in the distance and suddenly felt a little emotional, thinking that hundreds of zombies could kill him back then. A dead place, and 100,000 zombies turned the entire Black Dragon City upside down. Only a few months have passed now, and he actually dared to bring people to the city to eliminate tens of millions of zombies. Wang Feng suddenly felt a surge of pride in his heart. Is this the second drastic change? Then let me see if you can destroy this world and destroy mankind. Crazy. Thank you. Just when Wang Feng was full of enthusiasm, a bald man appeared in front of him at an inopportune time. It was Luo Kaying. The last time Wang Feng distributed the evolution potion, this guy was not there, but of course he was not left behind. Now he is also an evolver. Along the way, he was on the hurricane behind with Huaxing and Hao Shui. Now he finally saw the opportunity and hurried over to thank Wang Feng. He. I am also an evolver now, thanks to your bottle of potion, don't worry. I will definitely make up for the points I owe. After becoming an evolver, I feel that my fighting spirit is already thirsty. I think it's not the fighting spirit that you are thirsty for, but the lust, right? Before Wang Feng could answer, a voice came from the side. Wang Feng looked back and saw that it was Hao Shui. This guy also came over, as well as Ximen Lianying, Huaxing and other members of the combat unit who were using the evolution potion at the same time. Tisk. Do you think I'm like you? Thinking about beauties all day? What I need now is fighting. No matter what kind of zombie it is, I, Lao Luo, will tear it to pieces. Luo Kaying clenched his fists and collided them on his chest, looking at Hao Shui with disdain. You are so awesome. Why don't you go to Mars? Hao Shui said with a sneer. You. Hao Shui, what does your fight with Lao Luo have to do with me? Why did you bring me in? Mars on the side was furious and cursed. Slip of the tongue. Slip of the tongue, Hao Shui said awkwardly. This "why don't you go to Mars" is his catchphrase, but now there is a person named Mars around him. I am afraid that this catchphrase will be used less in the future, which will affect stability and unity. Okay. Stop arguing, Taishis came up and said, then looked at Wang Feng. Thank you, Mr. Wang Feng, thank you for your trust in me and Apollo, we. Okay. Taishis. No need to say more, we will all be in the same base in the future, all for the struggle to survive in this apocalypse, no need to say more polite words. Wang Feng quickly stopped Taishi's words, then looked at the others. You too, no need to say thank you or anything like that. If you have that energy, use it to kill zombies tomorrow. After speaking, Wang Feng looked at Chuking City again. There are more zombies here than in Haki City. Starting tomorrow, we will be busy. Okay. Don't worry. I want to go in now. My fighting spirit has been hungry and thirsty, Luo Kaying roared. After becoming an evolver, this guy seemed to become warlike. I don't know whether it is a good thing or a bad thing, but at least in the current situation, it is good to have such emotions. By the way, Apollo. Is your head okay? Wang Feng asked with a smirk, looking at Apollo standing behind him. Okay. Okay, Apollo said with a red face, and Taishi's in front of him also blushed. After Apollo became an evolver, he became much more honest, just the opposite of Luokaing. At least, he didn't talk so much, and he probably wouldn't be as mentally retarded as before. After all, his hidden illness in that aspect has recovered. There is no need to pretend anymore. Taishis, do you have any special abilities after becoming an evolver? I remember you said before that the direction of your body's strengthening seems to be a little special. Wang Feng asked what he was most concerned about. Taishis, whose face was still a little red, looked at the people around him, and then whispered, "Yes. I'll tell you later." Hearing Taishi's words, Wang Feng was even more surprised, but since Taishi said so, he didn't force it. After chatting with everyone casually for a while, he drove them away to rest. Not long after everyone left, Taishis quietly ran over. Wang Feng was sitting on the roof of the car, chatting casually with Duanlei, Gui Wuivang, Lu Feng, and Tang Haoshan. The others had already gone to rest. Seeing Taishis coming over, Tang Haoshan couldn't help but smile and said, "You came here late at night, aren't you afraid that Apollo will be jealous?" Tisk. He dares, Taishi snorted softly, then looked at Wang Feng, hesitant to speak. "It doesn't matter. Tell me. If it's for confidentiality, we are all family here." Wang Feng understood what Taishi's meant and said casually. "Me," Taishi's hesitated for a moment, but still said it out, "My ability is not combat related, but auxiliary related, and my name is Insight." Doomsday Special Forces. Author, Huanjing Chengzhu. Chapter 295. Insight. Wang Feng and others looked at each other, and they didn't understand the use of this ability for the time being, so they all looked at Taishi's, waiting for her explanation. Taishi's blushed, then looked at the people around him, seemed a little hesitant, but finally said, "My insight is divided into active and passive. If it's passive, if the people around me are hostile to me, I will feel it, and if they are kind, I will also feel it. If it is active, you can directly see what a person is thinking, but it can only be activated once a day, and you can only see one person at a time," Taishi said cautiously. As soon as Taishi's words came out, Wang Feng and others all took a breath of cold air. Although this ability is not a combat type, and it only works once a day, and only one person at a time, this ability is simply against the sky. It is said that people's hearts are separated by their stomachs. Now with Taishi's ability, who can keep the secrets in their hearts in front of him? Damn. If I curse you in my heart when I'm in front of you, will I die ugly? Gui Wuivang was stunned for a while, then blurted out a sentence. No, Wang Feng shook his head. So generous, Gui Wuivang looked at Wang Feng and asked in surprise. You will die wonderfully. Wang Feng had no expression on his face. Gui Wuivang shrank his head. Madman. I want 2 people from you, Duan Lei suddenly said. Okay, Wang Feng nodded, it's Thesis and Apollo, right? Wang Feng guessed Duan Lei's idea. Yeah, Duan Lei nodded and turned to Taishi's. I think since you don't have combat abilities, you shouldn't stay in the combat department. I'm going to set up a new department. It's called the Law Enforcement Department. As the number of people in our base increases, this Law Enforcement Department must exist. Then Duan Lei looked at Lu Feng, smiled and said, this department will be in charge of Lao Lu. It will be under the law enforcement team and the court. Taishi's, you will be the president of the court. I think there seems to be no one more suitable than you. Apollo will be the vice president. As for the law enforcement team, it will be left to Lao Lu. You two will judge and kill. Haha. I think these 2 people are absolutely a perfect match. If it's a trial, no one dares to speak in front of Taishi's. If it's a kill, no one dares to live in front of Lao Lu. Gui Wuavong laughed. Humph, Lu Feng snorted coldly and ignored him. Wang Feng looked at Duan Lei. From Duan Lei's eyes, Wang Feng understood what Duan Lei meant. In fact, the law enforcement department and the court were a cover, in order to find a place to arrange taxes in the base. Otherwise, it would be a bit against the rules to suddenly transfer two people from the combat department back to the life department. After all, when the departments were divided before, it was said that the life department could enter the combat department, but the combat department could not return to the life department. In fact, the current Hope base. There is no need for a law enforcement department at all, let alone a court, because there is no dispute in the Hope base now. Even the more than 200,000 survivors who were just brought back from Wang Tao's military camp, because they saw Lu Feng's ruthlessness on the road, and after arriving at the Hope base, the soldiers of the Hope Corps who explained the rules of the Hope base to them kindly played Lu Feng's video for them, and now they are quite honest. Now is the end of the world. Because of fear and despair, people's hearts are inclined to the dark side. Therefore, this time is absolutely not suitable for the rule of law. Only Lu Feng's iron-blooded wrist can calm the survivors. Only in this way can those restless survivors completely give up their thoughts. Now that he understands Duan Lei's meaning, Wang Feng will naturally not object, and he is also glad that Texas did not expose his supernatural powers in front of many people, otherwise, everyone may be in danger. It's not that other people have bad ideas for the Hope base, but no matter who it is, if they know that there is someone around them who can see their inner thoughts, they will probably feel awkward. This can be seen from the faces of Lu Feng, Gui Wuavong, and Tang Haoshan. In fact, everyone has secrets in their hearts, which no one can know except themselves, even the closest people. This is not a question of good or bad character. If you don't believe it, ask yourself, are there many things that you can only hide in your heart? Okay. Tai Shizi. You will be transferred to the law enforcement department and serve as the dean of the court. Apollo will be with you. You don't have to participate in this battle. Wang Feng made the final decision. Understood, Tai Shizi nodded. In addition, Tai Shizi's ability should not be told to anyone. This is very important. I am afraid that the more people know, the lonelier Tai Shizi will be. I am afraid that everyone will stay away from her, Duan Lei warned solemnly. That's right. I want to leave now. Tang Haoshan smiled bitterly. Even this generous man was very cautious about Tai Shizi, which fully demonstrated the lethality of Tai Shizi's ability. You haven't used it today, right? Gui Wuavong looked at Tai Shizi vigilantly. That's right, after revealing the secret in his heart, Texas finally regained his character when he saw that Wang Feng and the others didn't want to do anything to him. He looked at Gui Wuavong provocatively and said, how about you do an experiment? It's a waste to keep it anyway. Don't. Auntie. I give in, okay. Gui Wuavong quickly hid behind Lu Feng and begged for mercy with a bitter face. Seeing Gui Wuavong's look, everyone couldn't help but laugh. Seeing everyone's look, Texas was really relieved. Although she didn't use her superpowers to see what Wang Feng or Duan Lei were thinking, she still relied on the passive insight to feel that Wang Feng and others had no ill will towards her. Originally, she didn't dare to tell others about her superpowers, because she knew what her superpowers meant to others. No one would like to be with a guy who could see through their thoughts, no one would. She was very afraid that once she told it, she would be killed directly by Wang Feng and others. This was the most likely thing to happen, but now it seemed that this would not happen. Hey? I have an idea. Don't waste Texas's superpowers. Let's let her use it. Wang Feng suddenly turned his eyes and said mysteriously. Ah, everyone was stunned, including Texas. Who do you want her to use her superpowers on? Lu Feng looked at Wang Feng with a vigilant face. Ha ha ha. Old Lu. Don't you care about no one except yourself? So you are afraid of this too, Wang Feng laughed. Nonsense. Why do I feel like I am naked in front of this girl, Lu Feng said unhappily. Texas blushed, but the others all nodded in agreement. Although what Lu Feng said was a bit vulgar, it was indeed a very vivid metaphor. Damn. Are you planning to hit on that girl Zhang Xiu? Du Enlai looked at Wang Feng's sly expression and guessed with suspicion. Yeah. That's her. This girl is outspoken every day. I want to know what she is thinking. Is she interested in anyone? If so, let's quickly match her up and marry her off early, so that we can all feel more relaxed. Wang Feng nodded repeatedly. After Wang Feng said this, everyone else nodded, and even Lu Feng thought this was a good idea. Hey! Have you forgotten or what? Is Zhang Xiu here? Du Enlai reminded. Oh! That's right, Wang Feng said in annoyance. Zhang Xiu and Ting Ting are at the Black Dragon Bridge. It depends on what she thinks in her heart. They have to wait until they get back. What should we do? Isn't today's time wasted? Tang Haoshan said in annoyance. It seems that people here are very interested in peeping into the secrets of others. Okay. Stop it, Du Enlai suddenly said seriously. This ability of Texas can't be used indiscriminately in the future, especially on our own people. It's disrespectful to people. I think if we use this ability on our own people to check the secrets in his heart, if he knows, we may lose him. Think about it, if that person is you, what would you think? This is suspicion, doubt, and disrespect for people. Texas. In the future, without our permission, I hope you will never use this ability, Du Enlai said at the end. His expression was very serious. Wang Feng and the others thought about it and gradually put away the relaxed look on their faces. They also understood the seriousness of this matter and couldn't help but break out in a cold sweat. If they really took this as a joke and tried to find out about the thoughts of people like Luo Kaying and Mars, if they knew about it, they might really be dissatisfied and leave hidden dangers for the Hope Base. Okay. Don't use this ability of Taishi's on your own people in the future, unless there are new people coming and you can't trust them completely. You can use it once, or when you contact other bases again, you can also use it. At ordinary times, Taishi's, you should forget your ability. Wang Feng sighed and said to Taishi's in the same serious manner. I understand. In the future, I will never use this ability without your orders, Taishi's promised solemnly. Alas! It would be great if your ability awakened earlier. Come with me to see the Apostle Peter and know what he is up to. I don't have to worry about it now. Wang Feng suddenly sighed. Forget it. Haven't you made up your mind? What are you still worried about? Du Enlai looked at Wang Feng with disdain. Wang Feng looked around with some vigilance, but finally held back and didn't say anything. It was night time now, and no one knew where the three kids were hiding. If they heard him, Du Enlai's plan would fail. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Doomsday Special Forces. Author, Huanjing Chengzhu. Chapter 296. The next morning, the Biochemical Research Institute was very lively. The yard was full of fires, and various mutant beasts were placed on them. It was like a barbecue party. Of course, some guards were cooking soup in a big pot. The mutant meat could be roasted, and the hearts, livers, intestines, etc. were good ingredients for making soup. Take a piece of bread, put some barbecued meat in it, and make a bowl of miscellaneous soup. Even before the end of the world, it was definitely a top-notch breakfast. Because they were about to face a war, Wang Feng did not rush everyone, but let everyone eat and drink to their heart's content. Even the soldiers led by Huang Hua enjoyed the most awesome breakfast since the end of the world. After eating and drinking, they put away all the pots and pans. Wang Feng pointed at the zombies that were attracted by their breakfast and shouted through the iron railings, "Brothers! Let's get started." With his shout, the battle to clear Juking City officially began. The guards drew their daggers and shot the zombies in the head one by one through the iron railings. Since there were iron railings blocking them, they could kill the zombies without danger, so of course they were happy to relax. Wang Feng also nodded. Instructor Li Yingning's training was indeed unique. In fact, they could open the iron gate and rush out to kill these zombies. There would be no danger. At most, they would gain a little more strength, and they could also pretend to be cool in front of the new soldiers of the Second Army. However, these guards didn't seem to have any intention of showing off. They honestly used the most labor-saving method to kill all the zombies around the fence, and then opened the iron gate and drove the hurricane out. The guards dispersed directly after going out and cleaned up the scattered zombies that survived around. After clearing all the scattered zombies nearby, more than 2,000 guards began to line up in 2 rows, with 1,000 people in each row, and marched towards Juking City. The remaining guards stood on the hurricane and followed behind these guards. Their main role was to attract zombies. Looking at the formation of the guards, Du Enlai and Wang Feng nodded with satisfaction. The soldiers in the first row were 1 meter apart, and the ones behind stood in the gap between them. In this way, many triangular formations were formed, which was exactly the formation that the guards were best at. This time, Wang Feng was preparing to train his troops to clear Juking City. Therefore, when he set out, he did not go to the reserve base to resupply ammunition, because they did not plan to use too many hot weapons this time. When approaching Juking City, the soldiers on the hurricane following the guards opened fire at the zombies in the distance. When the zombies were attracted, their gunshots stopped. This was the plan set by Du Enlai before. They would clear the zombies here in small waves. They would not kill directly to surround the zombies. Who knows what kind of advanced zombies will appear in such a huge zombie group. The population of Juking City is much larger than that of Haki City, so the zombie tide is also larger, and everything is based on safety. The zombies that were attracted soon fell under the knives of the guards. The current guards are all evolvers. Although they are not familiar with their own strength, their cooperation is not as tacit as before, but their progress can be clearly seen. This is also the most important purpose of Du Enlai and Wang Feng's trip. These zombies in Juking City are not to be feared. They are just preparing for the drastic change in 2 months. Because everything is unknown, they can only strengthen their own strength first. These guards are the main force of the base. They must try their best to improve their strength within these 2 months. However, after 2 hours of such a battle, it seems that the leader of the zombie group feels something is wrong. The gunshots of the guards can no longer attract zombies. Instead, the zombies gather inside. Wang Feng and Du Enlai smiled at each other, knowing that they have alarmed the mutant zombie king or mutant zombies inside. According to their speculation, there must be mutant zombies in such a huge zombie tide, and there may be more than one. Now the zombies are beginning to gather, indicating that the zombie leader inside has noticed them. Du Enlai did not order the missiles to be launched, and he did not plan to use them this time. They were powerful weapons, and there were not many of them, so they were better kept for later use. Hope Base did not have an arsenal, so it was impossible to manufacture munitions by itself. The more consumables such as ammunition were used up, the less they would be. It was not known what would happen in 2 months, so it was better to save as much as possible. Change formation, Du Enlai shouted, and the guards quickly changed their formation. One reason was that the zombies were no longer coming out, and the other was that they were about to enter Juking City, so it was a bit wrong to use the previous formation. The formation of the guards changed rapidly, and each 100 people formed a team directly. The shape of each team was like a cone, a bit like the charge formation of ancient cavalry. Lu Feng and others who were watching the excitement from behind also stepped forward at this time, acting as the vanguard of each formation, leading the guards into Juking City. A large part of the guards on the car also jumped off the Hurricane and came to Doomsday. There were exactly 300 people, and they were the 300 guards who had received Doomsday's command training. Now, except for the approximately 200 Guardian warriors inside and above the Hurricane, all the others have rushed towards Juking City. Apart from Theseus and Apollo, the only core figure left is Wang Feng. From the beginning of the battle, Wang Feng had not made any move. He just walked behind the guards with his hands behind his back. He was absorbing the life energy of the dead zombies. Now the apocalypse points were in urgent need. He hoped that there were at least 1,000 guards who needed to complete the evolution in the base. In addition, it was unknown how many of those taken away by Li Yingning would pass through. Moreover, there was also the second army led by Huang Hua, so Wang Feng could not let go of any apocalypse points now. Especially since he had to enter that passage, he had no idea what dangers were inside. If he did not prepare a little more apocalypse points, he would not dare to go in. After the team dispersed and entered, Wang Feng carefully paid attention to the various groups. His target was the high-level zombies above the Mutant Corpse King, because the mutant zombies were not a threat to the guards and Lu Feng, and they could even kill the Mutant Corpse King. Because Wang Feng's eyes could see the weaknesses, these guards and core personnel knew the weaknesses of these zombies. As long as they cooperated well and attacked the weaknesses, even a few guards could probably kill the Mutant Corpse King now. I don't know if their previous attack was too sharp, and they killed tens of thousands of zombies without any casualties, which aroused the vigilance of the leader of the zombie group. They have been in the city for more than 20 minutes, but there are still no high-level zombies, not even a mutant zombie. Wang Feng followed the team into the city and climbed up a tall building to observe. Unfortunately, due to the obstruction of the building, there was no trace of any high-level zombies. Could it be that the leader of the zombie group here was also playing the trick played by the mutant skeleton in Haki City before, hiding all the high-level zombies in the building to ambush them? However, Doomsday is not afraid of this now. The reason why he dispersed the team is to expand his search range. Every time he passed a building, the guards would stop, leaving some of them on the spot to guard, and the others would enter the building. After confirming that there were no zombies inside, they would continue to move forward. It can be said that they were cautious step by step. Occasionally, a guard soldier would throw a grenade on the ground in front of him to see if he could attract some zombies with the explosion sound of the grenade, but the effect was minimal. He didn't throw it into the building because Doomsday was afraid of damaging the materials in the building. Now Doomsday and Wang Feng have already regarded Juking City as their own possession. How could they use grenades to blow up their own things? When he was about 200 meters away from the zombie tide, Doomsday finally picked up the walkie-talkie and issued an order to assemble. He was going to attack the zombies from the front. Of course, he couldn't let these guard soldiers fight on their own. If they were still scattered, the zombie tide would suddenly counterattack and they might be divided and surrounded by the zombie tide. At that time, they might be in a hard fight. Lu Feng and others quickly came to Doomsday's position. This was a street in Juking City. It was very wide. The buildings on both sides had been checked and there were no zombies hidden inside. After the guard soldiers gathered, the 7 Hurricanes drove to the front again and acted as pioneers. Watching Wang Feng and his team approaching slowly, the zombies in front began to stir. A mutant zombie king squeezed out from the zombie group. Beside it, there were more than 200 mutant zombies. After they came out, they did not immediately attack Wang Feng and his team. Instead, the mutant zombie king roared in the direction of Wang Feng and his team, as if warning Wang Feng and his team. It seems they don't want to fight with us. Wang Feng stood beside Doomsday and said easily. Tisk. It's not up to them to fight or not, Huaxing said disdainfully. Hey? Who can speak zombie language? Talk to it and let their commander come out to answer, Hao Shui also joined in the fun. Damn. Romance of the Three Kingdoms. The commander came out to answer. Li Fei stuck his head out to express his disdain. Huh? How do you know Romance of the Three Kingdoms? Isn't that something on Earth? Hao Shui and Huaxing asked together. He looked it up on the internet. Wang Feng, Duan Lei, Tang Haoshan, Lu Feng, and others said in unison. Doomsday Special Forces. Author, Huanjing Chengzhu. Chapter 297. Duan Lei looked at the mutant zombie king in front of him with an unusually calm expression. There were about hundreds of thousands of zombies on the street in front of him. They were not familiar with Juking City. They had not seen any large open spaces such as parks yet. If there was such a place and there were a large number of zombies gathered inside, Duan Lei might choose to launch a missile. However, maybe because before the end of the world, Juking City was a city where every inch of land was at a premium, so there were no such large parks. There were a few amusement parks, but not on their side. In Duan Lei's opinion, these zombies in front of them were not worth it at all. Use missiles, and if you use missiles, they will definitely cause damage to surrounding buildings. Duan Lei does not plan to occupy Juking City, but he also does not want to destroy those buildings and destroy the materials inside. No one knows what will happen in 2 months, so he must make complete preparations now and accumulate a large amount of materials. No matter whether it is useful or not, we must try our best to transport it back to the Hope Base. Madman. Go up and try. Duan Lei looked at Wang Feng, because he knew that Wang Feng recovered his physical strength very quickly. Although Wang Feng did not tell Duan Lei about the existence of Tiankai, he had no idea of his true combat power. The slightest concealment allowed Duan Lei to make the most correct decision on the battlefield. Kill this mutant zombie king. Wang Feng looked at the mutant zombie king with a smile on his face. After Tiankai advanced, the recovery speed of his physical strength also became faster, and the time between instantaneous recovery of full physical strength also changed. It took 12 hours, so even though he hadn't seen the real zombie leader yet, Wang Feng didn't mind using a hurricane first. At worst, just cancel it immediately after killing the mutant zombie king. In that case, the energy consumed can be recovered in more than an hour, so it can be said that it will not have much impact. Yeah. It's the mutated zombie king. After killing it, retreat immediately. We have to force the real leader of the zombie to show up. At least, we have to know what it is first. Duan Lei nodded. Okay. Leave it to me, Wang Feng agreed happily, and then without saying hello, he rushed directly towards the mutated corpse king. However, he did not activate the blast, but rushed forward at his maximum speed without launching the blast. Although this mutant zombie king went into battle under the command of a higher level zombie, its cautious character remained unchanged. Although only Wang Feng was dispatched here, the mutant zombie king still took a few steps back. The mutant zombies following it stepped forward directly, preparing to cover the mutant zombie king behind them. Since the mutant zombie king is about the same height as ordinary people, but the mutant zombies are up to 3 meters tall, so when the mutant zombies behind the mutant zombie king step forward and prepare to block the mutant zombie king with their bodies, the claws first blocked the mutant zombie king's sight. Wang Feng seized this opportunity and instantly activated the blast. His body was like a bolt of lightning, passing between the two mutant zombies and coming to the front of the mutant zombie king. Facing the sudden appearance of Wang Feng, the mutated corpse king was not slow to react. He put his hands in front of himself to protect his vitals, then let out a roar and jumped back. Unfortunately, it forgot that there was a mutated zombie behind it, and moved its body back less than a meter before being blocked by a mutated zombie. Wang Feng rushed forward like a shadow, holding the weapon in his hand. Apocalypse directly penetrated the palm of the mutant zombie king in front of it and pierced between its eyebrows. With a huge roar, the mutant zombies around the mutated zombie king all launched an attack on Wang Feng in the middle. A dozen sharp claws enveloped Wang Feng from top to bottom. Wang Feng killed the mutant after the Corpse King, his body dwarfed and rolled on the ground. Then Apocalypse swung out, killing 2 mutated zombies, and then returned directly to Doomsday. However, although he successfully killed the mutant zombie king and collected 2 mutant zombies, Wang Feng was also caught by the sharp claws of 2 mutant zombies, and 8 blood marks appeared on his shoulders and back. Fortunately, he made a quick decision and rolled out on the ground. Otherwise, he might have been torn into pieces by the mutated zombies. You know, when Wang Feng rushed in to kill the mutated Corpse King just now, it was surrounded by mutant zombies. Because Wang Feng rushed in too fast, the two used their bodies to cover the mutated Corpse King's mutant zombies, and they didn't react immediately, but they were still lying in front of the mutated Corpse King. Because of this, they also unintentionally blocked Wang Feng's retreat route. The sharp claws that attacked Wang Feng later had sealed the top of Wang Feng. Wang Feng's only way out was from below. Fortunately, the mutated zombie's body was tall enough, otherwise, Wang Feng's injuries would have been more serious. Holy shit! Why did these guys react so quickly? After killing the mutant zombie king, shouldn't they have paused? Wang Feng himself was frightened into a cold sweat. According to previous experience, once the zombie controller after being killed, the zombies controlled by it will definitely stagnate temporarily, at least for more than 1 second. Wang Feng originally planned to take advantage of the moment when the mutant zombies paused to escape after killing the mutated zombie king. However, he did not expect that these zombies did not stop at all and directly launched an attack on Wang Feng, causing the tactics he originally thought of completely lost their effect, and he was caught off guard and injured. How are you? Are you okay? The scene that Wang Feng encountered just now also made Doomsday, Lu Feng, and others break into a cold sweat. Fortunately, Wang Feng did not cancel the blast immediately after killing the mutant zombie king, so he could rely on speed. Escaped back, otherwise, in the situation just now, I am afraid that no one except Lu Feng would be able to come back alive. It's okay, Wang Feng ordered Tiankai to start treating his wounds in his heart, and replied, I was careless. I didn't expect that my previous experience didn't work. It seems that I have to be careful in the future. I'm a bit pretentious. Damn, seeing that Wang Feng was still in the mood to joke, Doomsday and others felt relieved and looked at the zombie tied opposite. To their surprise, the zombies opposite did not show any signs of mutated corpses. The attack on them after the death of the king still stayed in place, while the new mutant zombies all retreated back into the zombie tide after the death of the mutant zombie king. You actually retreated, Doomsday frowned. This is not a good sign. Not only was Wang Feng injured in this attack, but he also failed to achieve Doomsday's goal, which made Doomsday a little depressed. He originally thought that after killing the mutated zombie king, even if the leader of the zombie wave did not show up, at least more mutated zombie kings and mutant zombies should be sent to fight them. Now, not only have no more high-level zombies appeared, but they have appeared continuously. Those mutant zombies were all taken back, and Doomsday felt a little bad. This guy is too cautious, or too timid. This is very detrimental to us, Doomsday said with a frown. Can't we continue to advance as before? Tang Haoshan asked. No, Doomsday shook his head, we have entered the city now and can no longer be so dispersed. If we advance in a concentrated manner, we cannot enter the city too deep because our current investigation scope is small and only limited to this road. If we go deep into the city and are surrounded by zombies from behind, we will once again be trapped in a situation like Hacky City, where we are surrounded from all sides. Are zombies that smart? Su Mo, who had completed evolution and became a second-level evolver, couldn't help but ask. That's right, Doomsday nodded, the command is more difficult than you think. We have experienced it once before in Hacky City. If the madman hadn't appeared in time, I'm afraid our entire army would have been annihilated. Why don't we just ignore those supplies and just open a path with missiles and spread them out in all directions? Maybe with luck, we can kill the zombie leader directly. Wang Feng gritted his teeth and said coldly. At this time, under Tiankai's treatment, his wounds it is no longer bleeding and is healing slowly. However, if it is shot again, the wound will definitely burst again. No rush. I'll take the Kuang-Lei team up first to try. This kind of ordinary zombie can just give me some practice. You guys watch here. Madman, go up to this building and watch what's going on around you. Don't let us surrounded by zombies. Duan-Lei shook his head and said to Wang Feng. The Kuang-Lei squad in Duan-Lei's mouth are the 300 guardian warriors trained by Duan-Lei. Low-level zombies such as rogues and zombies from the previous chapter are not too dangerous to the evolvers, even if there are tens of thousands of them in front of them. The zombie tide, if there is no support from other zombies, Duan-Lei is sure to eliminate these zombie tides. Okay. Then pay attention to safety, Wang Feng nodded. He knew that Duan-Lei was always cautious and would not take risks easily. Now that he said he was going out, he must be sure, but he still warned Duan-Lei. Well, don't worry. If the situation changes, I will retreat back in time. You should also watch carefully from above. If we are surrounded, we may suffer casualties. Duan-Lei nodded, and then looked at his side. The Guardian Warriors said, Crazy Thunder Team. Attack. The 300 Guardian Warriors who had been following Duan-Lei since they entered the city immediately formed a weird-looking formation upon hearing this and moved towards the corpse tide ahead. Their queue is relatively loose, but if you observe carefully, they are in a team of 10 people, and there is a certain distance between each team, which gives people a very loose feeling. However, that is the only way. When each of their teams is in action, they will not be tied to each other. Doomsday Special Forces. Author, Huanjing Chengzhu. Chapter 298. Watching Duan-Lei following the 300 soldiers towards the zombies, Wang Feng couldn't help but feel a little nervous. Although he also knew that Duan-Lei was now a third-level enhancer, even if he was not good at combat, these ordinary zombies and enhanced zombies would not pose any danger to him, but Wang Feng still stared at Duan-Lei without blinking, ready to launch a gust of wind rescue at any time. In fact, it seems a bit inappropriate to say that Duan-Lei is not good at combat now, because Duan-Lei's ability, Thunderstorm. Who dares to say that Thunderstorm is not a combat type? Although there are some restrictions on activating this ability, such as no one from your side can be within the range of Thunderstorm, and there are sequelae after releasing it, it is undeniable that Thunderstorm is definitely the most lethal ability among all the evolutionists in the Hope base. Compared to Wang Feng, others like Lu Feng looked much more relaxed, and even looked at Duan-Lei with some expectation, as if they were ready to enjoy a good show. They had personally experienced Duan-Lei's precise battlefield control. At that time, they were so few, but under Duan-Lei's command, they killed nearly 100 mutant zombies. Now there are 300 evolvers following Duan-Lei. Lu Feng and others are quite looking forward to what kind of strength these 300 evolvers will show. They stretched their necks one by one, waiting to see the wonderful performance that Duan-Lei is about to bring. Duan-Lei followed the 300 guards and slowly approached the zombie group. When they were about 20 meters away from the zombie group, the 10 guards in front of the team threw grenades together. Because this time they mainly relied on cold weapons, these guards did not bring hot weapons, but they carried a few grenades with them. After the grenade fell into the zombie group, it immediately blew up a group of zombies on the outermost edge. However, the falling of these zombies did not anger the leader of the zombie group. Instead, they continued to shrink the zombie camp and retreated all the way. Duan-Lei and his team continued to move forward. Lu Feng and others behind him also led Hurricane and the rest of the guards to advance all the way to prevent Duan-Lei and his team from going deep alone. After seeing this situation, Wang Feng climbed up a building next to him and climbed to the roof to observe the surrounding situation. When Duan-Lei and his team advanced nearly 100 meters, the zombies finally had no way to retreat, so they turned around and began to attack the guards, but the attack was very weak. Doomsday did not speak to command at all. The guards just relied on their own cooperation to harvest the zombies on the outer edge of the zombie tide one by one. Doomsday did not look at these guards, but instead looked at Wang Feng on the roof. After about 5 minutes, Wang Feng finally responded. He gestured to tell Doomsday that there were a large number of zombies on both sides, surrounding them from behind, and they were far away from them, as if they did not want them to find out. Doomsday turned around and looked at the zombies being slaughtered in front of him, with a sneer on his face. He did not expect that the leader of this zombie group would use these low-level zombies as cannon fodder to attract their attention, and then send the zombies to sneak past from both sides to surround them. It seems that the zombies are really getting smarter. Looking at the terrain ahead, there is no place suitable for them to form a defensive position like in Hacky City before, but Doomsday is not in a hurry. About 300 meters ahead is a crossroads with high-rise buildings on both sides. If they occupy that crossroads, although it is not as ideal as the park in Hacky City, at least they can form a defensive position, and the buildings on both sides can still play some role. Because the buildings here are densely packed, it is equivalent to forming 4 passages in the 4 directions of the intersection. In this way, they only need to resist the zombies pouring out of the 4 passages. The main problem now is to know whether there are any zombies hidden in the high-rise buildings near this intersection. Doomsday gestured to ask Wang Feng about the number and speed of zombies on both sides, and secretly criticized Wang Feng for jumping up without taking the walkie-talkie. Unexpectedly, just when he thought of this question, Wang Feng's voice came out of his walkie-talkie, "Liza. Are you stupid? You gestured with such complicated words. Can't you just ask with the walkie-talkie?" Doomsday took off the walkie-talkie and had the urge to throw it away. "You said I was stupid? It was obviously you who gestured first, right? You gestured with a walkie-talkie? Do you think I have a third eye? How many zombies are surrounding us from behind? How fast are they? And how many high-level zombies are there?" Doomsday held his breath and asked calmly. Now was not the time to reason with Wang Feng, an idiot. He had to judge where the zombie leader was going to ambush them. There are probably millions of them. There are about 500 to 600 mutant zombies on both sides. As for the speed, if they completely go around behind us and close in, it will probably take at least an hour. Wang Feng's voice came out. Hearing this, Doomsday nodded. According to this calculation, the intersection in front should not be the ambush site, because the time coordination is not enough, so there is enough time for his side to arrange it. In this case, let's fight. Doomsday thought about it and decided to simply let the zombies surround them. Originally, Doomsday did not want to do this, but according to the current situation, if he did not want to be surrounded by zombies, he would need to retreat now and change to another location to enter Juking City again. In that case, they would probably waste more than a month's time in Juking City. What they lack most now is time, so Doomsday decided to take a risk. Now all the people they come in are evolutionaries, which is completely different from when they were in Hacky City. Moreover, if the intersection ahead is used as a defensive location, if so, they still have a lot of time to arrange it now, so there shouldn't be any problems. After making up his mind, Doomsday said to the walkie-talkie, "Madman. You can monitor the movements of the zombies from there, and notify me at any time if anything happens." "What are you going to do?" Wang Feng asked. "Are you going to let them surround us?" "You have a better idea that you can tell me," Doomsday replied. "Okay. You can do whatever you want." Wang Feng lost his temper immediately after hearing this. If he was asked to come up with an idea, he would definitely evacuate them all, and then go around in circles to kill the zombies around them little by little. In that case, don't talk about them. Wang, the wind itself can't even wait. Attention everyone. Prepare the attack formation immediately. kill the zombies in front, push all the way to the intersection, and then build a defensive position there. Doomsday put down the walkie-talkie and shouted loudly. Now all the people entering Juking City are evolvers. The soldiers of the Second Army brought by Huang Hua are now all staying in the Biochemical Research Institute. Even Huang Hua was left there because before departure, Doomsday had already told Huang Hua that they could follow, but they could not participate in the war. This is not to look down on them, but the enhancer is not immune to the zombie virus. After being caught in the zombie wave, he is easily injured. Even if his skin is scratched by a zombie, the soldier may die because of it. Thinking back to when he was in Haki City, even the Guardian warriors suffered a lot of losses. Huang Hua also knew the situation, so he led the team to stay at the Institute of Biochemistry. However, he himself stood at the top of the institute, observing Doomsday and the others with a telescope. However, due to the obstruction of the building, he could not see at all. When Doomsday and the others arrived, he didn't even notice Wang Feng standing high up. After receiving Doomsday's order, Lu Feng and others immediately rushed forward with the Guardian army. This time, the corpses in front were in bad luck, because they could not fight back and could only defend passively. There were only 300 guards just now. Soldiers, they can still hold on for a while, so Doomsday and the others are not advancing very fast. Now Lu Feng and the others explode with all their strength, and the zombie tide suddenly spreads thousands of miles away, unable to stop Doomsday and the others at all. In less than 10 minutes, Doomsday and his team rushed to the intersection. Following Doomsday's order, Lu Feng and others split up and continued to attack the other 3 roads in addition to the road they just came out of, until the corpses were killed. The group did not stop until they pushed 50 meters away, and all the corpses of the zombies they killed were piled in front of the 4 intersections, forming a simple defensive wall. Check if there are any zombies in the nearby buildings. Although Doomsday thought that the ambush location of the zombies was not here, he still asked everyone to check the surrounding buildings. Unexpectedly, during this inspection, people from those buildings, a large number of zombies spewed out, and there were also mutant zombie kings and mutant zombies jumping from high places. The Guardian warriors who were still placing zombie corpses to build a defensive wall below were caught off guard. Suddenly, those mutant zombies and mutant zombie kings fell from the sky. There were casualties in the attack. Although Lu Feng and others rushed to rescue, and even Wang Feng activated the blast to rush over, there were still more than a dozen Guardian warriors who had their heads chopped into pieces before they even had time to activate their powers and died miserably on the spot. In addition, there were dozens of people were disabled and hundreds of people were injured. Quick! Activate the superpower and kill these zombies. Doomsday's expression changed and he shouted loudly. Then, he kept issuing a series of instructions such as A-48, B-51, B-81. And commanded his crazy thunder. The team launched an attack on the zombies pouring out around them. Fortunately, the 300 Guardian warriors he selected before had been fighting at the front, so when the whole army attacked, their position was not in the front, but Doomsday left them behind to take a rest, so there were no casualties among the 300 Guardian warriors known as the Kuanglei Squadron. Because Wang Feng launched a hurricane, within a few seconds after the zombies poured out, he arrived at the crossroads. In the process, he had already sent dozens of feather arrows remotely, killing some mutants. The zombies were crucified in the process of falling. After arriving on the battlefield, he converted the bow of Apocalypse into the blade of Apocalypse and started close combat. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Doomsday Special Forces. Author, Huanjing Chengzhu. Chapter 299. Wang Feng flew past a mutant zombie king. Just when the mutant zombie king's claws were about to grab the head of a Guardian warrior, he split the mutant zombie king's head in half with a knife, saving him. The Guardian Warrior then continued to kill the other mutant zombie kings without stopping at all. After Tiankai advanced again, its sharpness was also improved again, but because its body became longer, it looked like a seedling knife, so Wang Feng was not used to using it because he was in the army. I have only practiced the use of daggers and military spurs, but the advantage is that Wang Feng does not have to cut in front of zombies to launch an attack, so overall the benefits are greater. After all, sword skills can be practiced slowly, and you will get used to it after using it for a long time. However, Wang Feng hopes that the Blade of Apocalypse will not grow longer every time he upgrades. In that case, it will probably be a trouble in the future. Maybe in the end he will just can now use the Bow of Apocalypse form. The current Blade of Apocalypse, even the entire blade of the Miao Dao, has reached the sharpness of the previous blade tip. Therefore, Wang Feng was able to directly split the head of the mutated Corpse King. After he jumped away again, his next target was still the mutant Zombie King. After the initial sneak attack that caught him off guard, the Guardian Warriors quickly adjusted. They immediately found their comrades and formed a team of 3 to fight with the zombies around them. Most of the zombies that came out were enhanced zombies or above, plus hundreds of mutated zombies, which were quite difficult to deal with. Fortunately, the current Haoru warriors have become evolvers. Otherwise, the losses would be huge now. Big. But even so, the Guardian warriors still suffered casualties, because there were an unknown number of mutated zombie kings hidden among the ordinary zombies. They suddenly burst out after approaching, which often caught the Guardian warriors off guard, and they fell dead or injured in front of the formation. Wang Feng's body has almost turned into a phantom. If the mutated Corpse King appears there, he will appear there the next moment. Basically, after appearing, the mutated Corpse King will no longer be able to escape intact. In addition, Lu Feng and others, after a targeted attack, after losing nearly 10 mutant zombie kings, the mutant zombie king finally no longer appeared, but commanded the mutant zombies to attack from the dark. At this time, the 3 children never showed up, and Wang Feng didn't know where they were hiding. The situation was urgent now, and Wang Feng didn't have time to look for them, so he simply didn't care about them, and just quickly killed the mutants who couldn't hide their figures. Zombies. Liza. Those zombies have sped up and are quickly preparing to set up defenses. It is estimated that they will be here in more than 20 minutes. I think they are not ready to surround us all. When these zombies poured out just now, the zombies suddenly changed direction and came directly this way. While killing zombies, Wang Feng shouted to Duan Lei. They haven't encircled them yet. It's still too late for us to withdraw. Do we want to withdraw? Hearing Wang Feng's question, Duan Lei didn't hesitate at all and answered loudly, no. Go on, try your best to clean up these zombies. The Guardian soldiers, except for the Kuang Lei team, all withdraw to build defenses and kill the dead and injured, bring them all back and put them in the car. Hearing Duan Lei's voice, except for Lu Feng and others and the Guardian warriors of Kuang Lei squadron, the rest of the Guardian warriors withdrew and brought back all the injured and dead comrades. This was the decision of the Guardian army before. According to the rules, unless the whole army is wiped out, no brother can be left behind, whether dead or alive. Even if he is dead, the body must be taken back. Duan Lei established a cemetery at the Hope Base, and Zhao Taihan's body is now buried in it. Even Chen Shaoan, who has no bones left, also has a tomb there, and these dead Guardian soldiers will rest there forever. Duan Lei and Wang Feng had agreed a long time ago that these warriors who sacrificed their lives for the Hope Base will never be forgotten. If Wang Feng and the others really wiped out the zombies and passed on human civilization, then the names of these Guardian warriors will always be remembered by all people, and the first thing their descendants will learn is how they came to live a stable life now. It is okay for the predecessors to plant trees and for future generations to enjoy the shade, but those who enjoy the shade cannot forget those who planted the trees, and even enjoy the shade while discrediting those who planted this giant tree for them. If a person does not a grateful heart, then his life is no different from that of a zombie. The names of heroes should be preserved forever, and the descendants of heroes should be taken care of. Although these guardian warriors survived in this dark age and caught up with this cruel apocalypse, you may say that their purpose of fighting is also for their own benefit. Survive, because if the zombies are not eliminated, they will also die, but at least, they have contributed to the continuation of mankind and created an environment for the lives of future generations. This will always be an indelible achievement. After putting all the injured and dead comrades into the hurricane carriage, the Guardian soldiers, who had no time to grieve, immediately began to build a defensive position. They piled the vehicles on the roadside and all the items found in the building that could be used to build the position. At the intersection, a simple but solid defensive position was once again built behind the defense line formed by zombie corpses. Wang Feng and his men also tried their best to clear the zombies pouring out of the building. However, because there were so many zombies and there were hundreds of mutant zombies involved, their main killing targets were all placed on the mutant zombies. Therefore, the guards who were building defensive positions had to spare some manpower to defend against the attacks of the low-level zombies. Fortunately, the zombies on the periphery were unable to join the ambushed zombies because of the suddenness of the situation, so the current situation can still be supported, and Duan Lei still did not order the use of hot weapons. Now Duan Lei knew where he had miscalculated. He counted the leader of the zombie group as a human, so there was an error, because although the leader of this group had wisdom, he was still a zombie. Obviously, his calculation was wrong, and there was a fault between his ambush location and his outflanking troops. Duan Lei's previous calculation was that after his men arrived at the ambush site, the zombies behind them should have just completed the encirclement, which would bring them the greatest trouble. In a word, Duan Lei overestimated the leader of this group of zombies, and the leader of this group of zombies, according to the current situation, should be a mutant zombie. Because the highest level zombie that appeared now is only the mutant zombie king, this is also good news, because if a mutant skeleton appears among the ambushed zombies, even if only one appears, it is enough to prove that the leader of this group of zombies will be a zombie higher than the mutant skeleton. In that case, it is definitely not good news for Duan Lei and his men. Soon, Duan Lei saw that the defense position was basically completed. On the four roads at the intersection, between the buildings on both sides, a defense wall with a height of 1.5 meters was built, connecting all the buildings around the intersection together. In this way, they only need to defend these four defense walls. All 7 hurricanes were parked in the middle of the intersection, connected head to tail to form a circle, forming a small defense position. This is a place they can retreat to after the outer defense position is breached. However, Duan Lei feels that he should not use this defense position, because if he uses this defense position, it means that there is a real crisis on his side. All attack, first block the zombies outside the defense position, and don't let the zombies get too close to the defense wall after the defense position was built, Duan Lei issued another order. Although the defense position has been built, they should now take advantage of the zombies outside the outer periphery not to merge with the zombies here, and quickly kill as many zombies as possible to weaken the zombies' strength, especially those mutant zombies. Because Duan Lei estimated that there must be a lot of low-level zombies here, killing these cannon fodder alone is not enough to cause a blow to the zombie group. Only the death of high-level zombies will affect the zombie group. This can be seen from the fact that after a few mutant zombie kings were killed, they no longer appeared. Duan Lei estimated that there must be more than one zombie group in Juking City. Like Haki City, there should be several high-level zombie leaders of the same level. Similarly, these high-level zombies will be wary of each other and will not merge together harmoniously. This is also the reason why Duan Lei dared to walk into the encirclement of zombies. It was just because of his mistake that the guards suffered casualties, but Duan Lei did not blame himself now. Instead, he entered a strange state and turned himself into a very calm commander. Now, he is like a chess player, treating everyone including Wang Feng as chess pieces. He knew that there would be casualties after being surrounded, although he did not expect it to be so early. However, Du Enlai had expected that the guards would suffer losses, and even the core personnel might die. Du Enlai had thought about this before. Now that only a dozen guards had died, Du Enlai could still accept it. What Hope Base needed most now was time. No one knew what would happen in 2 months. Therefore, Du Enlai did not have time to slowly kill the zombies in Juking City. He had to transport all the useful materials here back to Hope Base within 2 months to prepare for the drastic changes in 2 months. Therefore, Du Enlai was not sad about the death of the guards, because that would affect his judgment and command. He had to keep his mind calm and not be disturbed by anyone's death. His current state seemed to be his auxiliary ability, just like the state when he commanded Lu Feng and others to kill those mutant zombies in Haki City. However, since he was already a third-order evolver, this auxiliary ability had also changed. After entering the state, Du Enlai seemed to become very cold and ruthless. Even if Wang Feng died, it would probably not bring him any emotional fluctuations. He was now a commander, and a commander should be ruthless, because kindness does not lead the army. Doomsday Special Forces. Author, Huanjing Chengzhu. Chapter 300. Originally, the zombies on the periphery were already somewhat unable to hold on, especially under Wang Feng's full firepower. The mutant zombies died one by one under the apocalypse. Now with the addition of more than 1,000 guardian warriors, the number of zombies has been reduced even more rapidly. However, it seems that the zombie leader has noticed his mistake and began to withdraw the mutant zombies and retreat to the zombies that were gathering on the periphery, leaving only the wanderers and enhanced zombies still entangled with Wang Feng and his men. The zombie leader did not care much about these cannon fodder-like existences. For him, there were basically as many low-level zombies as he wanted. If the soldiers of the Guardian Corps were not very careful and brought back those confirmed dead comrades, they would have made up their minds to give them another blow on the head. Perhaps some of these dead Guardian warriors would have joined the zombie group. Once the mutant zombies retreated, the remaining low-level zombies could not pose any threat to Wang Feng and his team. When the mutant zombies began to wait for the bus, Wang Feng did not chase them. Instead, he circled the battlefield and absorbed all the life energy in the bodies of the killed zombies into the apocalypse. This was originally one of Wang Feng's main tasks in Juking City this time, accumulating a large number of apocalypse points to prepare for the next trip to the underwater channel of the Black Dragon River. After the mutant zombies evacuated, the zombie group near the intersection was quickly cleared out, and at this time, the time for the outer zombie group to approach here was less than 10 minutes. This is because the zombie group is waiting for those zombies that were originally going to outflank from behind. It should be that the zombie leader has learned a lesson in the previous action, so now there are a large number of zombies in the 3 directions of the intersection. Only the direction where Du Enlai and his team came has not yet appeared zombies. Quick! Pile all the zombies' bodies in front and build some obstacles. Du Enlai calmly gave orders while the zombies had not yet assembled. The current terrain was actually quite good. When surrounded by the zombie tide, the most fearful thing was not the living zombies, but the dead ones. Such a huge zombie tide, once the bodies piled up, would gradually compress their defense space until they were finally submerged. Now looking at the buildings on both sides of the 4 roads at the intersection, Du Enlai had a plan in mind. He remembered the platform that was piled up with zombie bodies due to the killing of the evolvers like Lu Feng in Haki City. Maybe this method can still be used now, because now it is not like defending in an open space as before, but only needs to defend these 4 roads that are similar to passages. If the corpses of zombies were evenly spread on the 4 passages at the beginning, then there would only be a situation where the corpses piled up too high and the 4 passages were also raised, and the defensive space on one side would not be compressed because of the piled up corpses of zombies. However, in this case, they could not all defend inside, but had to rush out to kill zombies like in Hacky City. Fortunately, there were only 4 passages, and there were enough people, but the disadvantage was that they needed to be wary of zombies climbing on the buildings on both sides and attacking them from top to bottom. Someone had to defend the top, which was both good and bad. However, now that the position had been built and the combat terrain had been fixed, there was no way to change it. So Doomsday took advantage of the fact that the zombies had not arrived yet and quickly summoned all the people to arrange them one by one. The core personnel were evenly distributed in 4 directions to defend against the mutant zombies and the top. As for the low-level zombies, they were handed over to the guards. Because the cooperation between the guards has gradually restored the previous tacit understanding after this period of running in, it is best to leave the large number of low-level zombies to them. They should ensure that the zombie corpses will not be over-accumulated in a certain place. Moreover, even if that happens, Doomsday does not need to worry too much, at least there is Hurricane behind, and its 6-barrel machine gun will be useful at that time. After arranging the division of labor for the personnel, the zombie tide is almost in place. There are 3 mutant zombie kings in each of the 4 directions, followed by hundreds of mutant zombies. Wang Feng and Doomsday's people can't help but sigh. A few months ago, they were chased by a mutant zombie like a stray dog, but now, all the mutant zombies in the 4 directions add up to more than 4 digits, but they can still deal with it calmly. It seems. People are really forced out, Lao Huan said. Forced out, not forced out. If you think wrongly, it means you are very evil. Although there are conditions for human evolution after the end of the world, if the living environment is not so dangerous, they may not grow so fast. They are now more than 10 times or 100 times stronger than they were at that time. If there was no zombie tide, maybe they would still be in Black Dragon City, guarding their camp, struggling on the verge of death every day. Now it seems that although the zombie that appeared in Black Dragon City caused them great losses, it also accelerated their growth speed from another aspect. It is more beneficial than harmful. Otherwise, if they were based on their combat power at that time, I am afraid that 1 mutant zombie king plus 10 mutant zombies would be able to take over all the survivors in Black Dragon City. Attention everyone, everyone should be in position according to the previous assignment, especially the core members. Be careful on your head. Don't let the mutated zombies rush into the Guardian Warriors, madman. You are fast and stay in the middle to maneuver. How to do it specifically? It's up to you, but before the leader of this zombie group appears, you'd better keep some trump cards. Doomsday looked at the people around him and said, then looked at Wang Feng, I estimate that there should be more than 1 mutant skeleton here, so you should try to save your energy. When the mutant skeleton appears, you will be the main combat force. It's hard to hurt that guy. Wang Feng nodded and expressed his understanding. When he killed the mutant skeleton last time, he really looked carefully with his eyes. Except for the 2 groups of soul fire, Wang Feng did not find it on the mutant skeleton. The weakness, that is to say, if you want to kill the mutated skeleton, it seems that only Wang Feng's apocalypse can do it at present. Because Lu Feng had tried it at that time, piercing the mutated skeleton's eyes with military thorns, but it didn't seem to cause any harm to the mutated skeleton. Of course, Doomsday's thunderstorm could also kill the mutated skeleton, but because he hadn't tried it before, so Doomsday himself doesn't know, and Doomsday's abilities are somewhat limited, so he can't just let them go. Doomsday's arrangements have been made, and the zombies have begun to move forward. However, for the first attack, it seems that the leader of the zombie group did not intend to directly launch a strong attack, but first used low-level zombies to make a tentative attack. Looking at the approaching zombies, everyone in the Hope base waited quietly for the defense to be strong, and did not rush out immediately. They waited until the zombies were less than 30 meters away from the defensive position before everyone jumped out of the defense position, killing the zombies. This 30-meter distance was left by Doomsday as a buffer, otherwise their defensive base would be useless. Even if the passage was raised, it would still have to be a little further away from its own defensive position. Since there were only low-level zombies and not even a single mutant zombie, the advance this time went very smoothly, from 30 meters away from the defensive position to nearly 100 meters away, almost to where the mutant zombie kings were standing. He stopped at the position and retreated. In this distance, the corpses of zombies were left on the ground. However, because the arrangement of the buildings was not very dense, he killed them again on the way back. A lot of low-level zombies emerged from between the buildings on both sides. Seeing this situation, Doomsday frowned. He felt that he had been negligent just now. He should have used some vehicles or other obstacles to block the paths between the buildings. If he rushed out next time at that time, when they reached the front, what rushed out from both sides were not low-level zombies, but the mutant zombie king commanding a large group of mutant zombies. At the same time, the high-level zombies behind them also just launched an attack. How could there be some trouble? It is likely that there will be casualties again. But now it's too late to block it. Now the area around this intersection is densely covered with zombies. They are now trapped in a tight siege. This newly discovered problem can only be noticed by those fighting at the front. However, Doomsday also quickly looked around and took note of the number of mutated zombie kings and mutated zombies that had appeared so far. He estimated that these high-level zombies that appeared now should be most of the elites of the leader of this zombie group. That is to say, as long as he pays attention to whether these high-level zombies that have emerged suddenly disappear, he can know whether there will be an ambush halfway. Although it is said that there will definitely be a team of high-level zombies around the zombie leader, Doomsday estimates that at most they can set up an ambush along the way. If that is the case, Doomsday, who has never participated in the battle, is next to Doomsday. The squad can handle it. Because of this, Doomsday just reminded everyone after they returned to the front of the defensive wall, telling them to pay attention to the paths between the buildings. If there are high-level zombies, no matter how many there are, they must retreat immediately. If you love fighting, you must pull the high-level zombies back to the defensive position.